ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಆಯ್ತು.
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ
ಶಶಿ.
ಮಂಗಳೂರು. ಹಲೋ, ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಉಂಟಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ.
ಇವತ್ತಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘದ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವುದಂತಾದ್ರೆ ಸುರದ್ರೂಪಿ ಮತ್ತು ತರುಣ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್, ಯಂಗ್ ಎನರ್ಜೆಟಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್. ಅವರ ತಂದೆಯವರು ಕೂಡ MB ಮುಳಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಅವರ ಮಗ ಶ್ರೀ ಉದಯ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಮುಳಿಯಾ, UP ಮುಳಿಯಾ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ. ಸುಮಾರು 29 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಅವರು ಸಿವಿಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನ್ಯಾಯವಾದಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಎರಡೂ ಕಡೆ ಕಚೇರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ನ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ನೀಡಲಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ನ ಪರವಾಗಿ, ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಆತ್ಮೀಯದಿಂದ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನ ಲೋಕಾಯುಕ್ತದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀ ಜಯಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ನ ಪರವಾಗಿ, ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘದ ಪರವಾಗಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ.
ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಇತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರುಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ನರಸಿಂಹ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಿತಿಯವರು ಕೂಡ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ನೀಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ, ಶ್ರೀ ಮಹೇಶ್ ಚಂದ್ರ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಂದು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಶರ್ಮಾ ಸರ್, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಒಂದು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಡಿಯೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಸ್, ಓವರ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಶ್ರೀಧರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಶಶಿ. Begging blessings from all seniors of Mangalore Bar Association and love to all my dear colleagues of Mangalore Bar Association. I seek permission of everyone to allow me to share some knowledge what I have in respect of adverse possession. I hope I am audible to everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ.
Thank you. Now, I am given a subject of to speak on adverse possession. Now, the concept of adverse possession is one aspect which has been in limelight for recent times, wherein Supreme Court has once again come harsh on the concept of adverse possession and adopting the concept of adverse possession in the day-to-day life of Indians. As you are aware that the word adverse itself shows how adversities are acting against the enjoyment of a property. This is one, to my knowledge, is one concept of law wherein a person who is a tortfeasor or a person who is committing a tortious act is going to get the benefit of ownership right. A person who is guilty of committing trespass and trespassing and occupying into somebody else's property is going to get the benefit of ownership. Now, this concept was deeply discussed by the Apex Court in various judgments in recent years, ever since 2019. 2014 it started all these aspects, but 2019 and 20 the Supreme Court has started deprecating the concept of adverse possession. Now, adverse possession is a concept once again, as we can visualize where did it come from, where exactly it came from. Somewhere in the 17th century BC, it found the king of Babylon in the parts of European country. The concept of adverse possession was adopted. Now, some of the theorists say that the concept of adverse possession finds base in Roman law, wherein people felt that possession is the starting point of ownership, because the first human being who was there in the world could not have expected to own a property because there was nobody else to say I am the owner. So the first person, how exactly did he get ownership, right? The wonderful thing about this is people in Rome claimed ownership rights on the basis of possession, continued possession, and started saying that this is our property. Now, this once again was also appreciated by Henry Maine, the main theory of adverse possession also, who happened to see the Indian system, originated a philosophy or originated a theory to state that the properties were owned initially by the villagers. The whole villages, which of course, as India consisted of agricultural families, they assumed that, the Maine assumed that these properties belong to a village, and thereafter it flowed into the concept of family. There was segregation of family, and families divided amongst themselves, and they enjoyed the property. Now, this is what Maine thought after going through the enjoyment of properties in India. Now, all this aspect is basically, where do we find foundation from, is English law. Now, somewhere in the 17th century itself, the English started saying that the adverse possession is a form of possession where you can come into enjoyment of property. The basic idea which they had was to enjoy the property by themselves, so that to avoid litigations, this is how ownership could be established. So somewhere coming to the 17th century, they started the law of limitation. The English adopted the law of limitations, wherein certain period of time was prescribed, and said that suppose you are in enjoyment of the property, then you become the owner of the property. As long as it is an enjoyment which is adverse or is enjoyed in hostile to the actual owner of the property who is possessing the property. Now, as strangely, the Americans also started adopting this concept, borrowed from the British, the English. And America was a huge country wherein properties were in hectares, properties were available. People did not want to break their head on writing papers, sale deeds, transactions, documentations, and everything. So they started claiming rights under adverse possession. Now, this was once again adopted by the Americans. Then it slowly started trickling down to India also, as on the lighter side. Today morning, when I was sipping a cup of tea, this is what I read in one of the articles. If I was born 200 years back, I wouldn't have known the concept of tea, drinking of tea. So where did this habit come from? It is British who brought tea into India. It's around 200 years back. Until then, India did not know much about tea. In view of the war, that the Opium War which was running between the British and China, they adopt a route to enter through India and try to sell opium and purchase tea from China, because British were poor. So they sucked the money from India so as to utilize and sell opium grown, and then they started selling it to China so that they could get the tea what they wanted. So this is why whenever I sip a cup of tea in the morning, I say this is nothing but a gift given by British. So that is the reason why I said we can understand to what extent the British have influenced the system, Indian system, and the Indian law, which is prevailing now. So is the concept of adverse possession. There are certain aspects which we need to remember. When a person comes to you saying that he is in possession of a property and he is in adverse possession of the properties, what needs to be confirmed? The first aspect is the possession. As everyone, as lawyers, we are aware of the fact that there are two aspects of possession. One is actual possession, another is symbolic possession. So what is this possession? Possession is actually once again split into two, actual possession also. In actual possession, what happens is there is an actual power of holding property. And the second aspect is the intention to hold property as against the whole world. So these two aspects joined together is possession. So I must hold the property, and thereafter I must have the intention to retain the property. Now these two concepts, I will be asserting possession. So if this possession has to be there, how will adverse possession come into play? The first aspect, the first ingredient, if I may to say, the possession must be open and notorious. Now, if the possession is hidden, it is within themselves and not open, we are not projecting it to the outside world saying that, look, I am in possession of this property. And I am in possession of the property in hostility to the owner's right or ownership right. Only then can adverse possession come into play. Now, this is the first and foremost ingredient which is required for the purpose of proving adverse possession. The second aspect would be exclusive possession. It should be exclusive. Exclusive so that you are keeping everybody else outside. Exclusivity must be not only against the true owner, but the enjoyment must be absolute and without any hindrance. So this exclusivity must be there. And third would be hostility. The most important aspect, as I said, the word adverse itself speaks about, is that the possession or the possessor must have hostility towards of the owner, true owner. So this hostility must exist. And all these said and done, there must be open possession, there must be exclusive possession, there must be possession in hostility, and it has to be continuous. When I say continuous, it has to be uninterrupted. There must not be any pause in between. So if this uninterrupted possession is open, is continuous, and in hostility to the right of the true owner, and the last but not the least is statutory period of time prescribed under law. It must be in hostility for a period over 12 years. So this time limit is what is prescribed under the provisions of the Limitation Act of 1963. Now, Section 27, Article 64, 65 and 112 we will get, reading all these provisions will give us a sum and substance of how exactly adverse possession right could be claimed. Now, what are the other aspects which are to be kept in mind for a person to claim adverse possession? There are certain judgments which say that an adverse possession cannot be claimed against a statutory body or an authority. Now, Article 112 speaks about this. Article 112 debars any authorities from claiming property beyond a period of 30 years if any authority of the government or a statutory body intends to recover property, then there is a bar. So basically what happens under Article 65, 64, 65 and 112 is an owner is deprived of his right to claim back possession. So this deprivation is found. Now, one aspect which we must keep in mind is a person who is claiming right by adverse possession cannot have any equities. He cannot say that equity is in my favor. He is abandoned from claiming the right of equities because he is trying to claim a right adverse to the right of an actual owner. So this aspect which we must keep in mind is one thing which I would like to state today. Now, there is one more concept which usually as lawyers we do not keep in mind or we do not think about, because as everyone knows that the defense of adverse possession is very rarely raised in a suit unless the person is in such hostility of rights and is owning properties and possessing properties in hostility. This aspect would be a rarest thing which we as lawyers would come across. But anyway, there are till 2019, everyone as lawyers, we were prevented from filing a suit for declaration that I or the plaintiff is in possession of the property by adverse possession, because till then the concept which was appreciated by the Supreme Court and various other high courts was that the plea of adverse possession could be used as only as a shield and not as a sword. It could be raised as a defense and not an aspect which could be prosecuted and sought relief for. But of course, the three-judge bench, which is of course for the benefit of all of us, it is reported in 2019 volume 8 SCC page 729. Of course, I will try to post it in Kanun Kudla group. It's Ravinder Kaur Grewal versus Manjit Kaur, wherein three judges bench, which also consisted of His Lordship Justice Abdul Nazir, came to the conclusion that Article 64 and 65 does not specifically mention that it has to be used as a shield. It could be also used as a sword by filing a civil suit for declaration that he has acquired a right by adverse possession. So until then, now what this judgment did was, it overruled the previous judgment which existed in 2014, which all of us might know who have practiced and who have faced this before a court of law, wherein our defenses or the defenses or written statement defenses were struck down, saying that adverse possession, what exactly is adverse possession? Whether I can claim adverse possession by a suit where plaintiffs filing a suit for adverse possession has been dismissed by the courts. Now, till then, till 2014, this 2019 judgment came. The judgment reported in 2014 was in vogue. That is Gurudwara Sahib versus Gram Panchayat, the Supreme Court judgment of 2014 SEC, which said that no party could come to the court by filing a suit for a declaration that he is in adverse possession of the property. So, no question of using it as a sword, it is only a shield. Now, on the basis of this, several suits had been dismissed, consequent upon which, of course, we were thrown out of the court. Now, the judgment reported in this 2019 judgment of consisting of three judge has been reiterated subsequently in 2020 also by another three-judge bench, which also once again confirmed that adverse possession can be sought by the plaintiff by filing a suit for a declaration. Now, one thing which everybody as lawyers we need to remember is, what are the circumstances under which we can claim adverse possession? Now, one important aspect which we forget is that we do not want to admit the ownership of the defendant or ownership of the plaintiff. Now, unless and until we are able to admit the ownership of an owner, we will not be in a position to raise the defense of adverse possession. So it is only as against an original absolute owner of the property who is not in possession of the property, we can seek the claim of adverse possession. So the first thing which the Supreme Court also in Dagabai versus Abbas Ghulam, that is reported in 2017, volume 13 SCC, page 705, clearly said that, look, first, before raising a defense of adverse possession, admit the ownership of the owner, thereafter raise it under what circumstances you are claiming adverse possession right. So one aspect is very much clear. The risk involved in defending a suit on the basis of adverse possession is that the presumption that you are admitting the ownership of the plaintiff is there. So the court is in a very what's a softer mode, or we can say an easier mode for a court to decide that when defendant is raising a plea of adverse possession as against a plaintiff, it comforts the courts, at least the ownership of the plaintiff is admitted. To that extent, the issues are answered in favor of the plaintiffs. So this is the judgment which is reported in 2017, volume 13, SEC, page 705. Now, as I in the beginning said, that the Supreme Court has been deprecating the utilization of the concept of adverse possession and claiming right of property by way of adverse possession in very many judgments, including what was reported in 2009, volume 16, page SCC 517, that is Hemanji Wagaji Jat versus Bika Bai. Now, there was severe criticism which Supreme Court has said, look, the concept of adverse possession no doubt is borrowed from the British. Now, the British or the English courts also have started throwing it away. And in fact, the American courts also are going against this policy of adverse possession, and courts are not ready to accept it. Then why we, being Indians who are just followers, who have blindly followed that principle of law from British, why should we still continue to follow this? As I have already stated previously, that if at all a person is given the benefit of owning a property by virtue of his tort or tortious act of unlawfully possessing a property adverse to his title, then such concept, it's very, very awkward situation, as Supreme Court says in its judgment. It once again gave a reminder to the central government which is also reported judgment, that is His Lordship Justice Dalveer Bhandari and Deepak Verma once again repeated in 2011-10 SEC page 404 and asked the central government to relook to the concept of adverse possession to see that it is removed from the provisions of Limitation Act, so that no person could gain ownership by adverse possession. Now, harsh words were used by the apex court in one of the judgments, where compensatory cost also was imposed on the Haryana government, wherein strangely the Haryana government, represented by its police commissioner, filed a civil suit against a private property or a private owner of the property and claimed property by adverse possession. Then the Supreme Court was taken aback and just in a shocking words said, we can understand the private parties fighting for the properties of other possession, but it is quite surprising to see that a government, which is a body which is required to protect the right of parties, is coming before the court of law claiming adverse against the property of a private person. So it seriously criticized the Haryana government and has dismissed the appeal filed by the Haryana government with compensatory costs. Now, that is what briefly, as I understand, the concept of adverse possession. Now, the three fundamental principles of law or principles which is relied on so far as adverse possession is concerned, it is worded like this in Latin. It's nec vi, which says, that is NECVI, nec vi, which is adequate in continuity. So continuity is one concept, CLAM, which is adequate in publicity. So there must be an enjoyment which is public in nature, which people must know. Then it is nec precario. So that is, the words are NEC, PRECARIO, nec precario, which is adverse to the competitor or the true owner. That is what it said. So this is basically the concept of adverse possession, which, as I understand. Now, there are certain aspects. One more aspect which I would like to speak about is the concept of tacking. Now, the word tacking is used to show that somebody is giving the favor or continuing the favor in the subsequent person. The doctrine of tracking is one which permits an adverse possessor to add his period of possession to that of prior adverse possessor in order to establish a continuous possession of the statutory period. So the concept of tacking basically says that a person who is claiming right under a person who is in adverse possession of the property can make use of the previous enjoyment of the year of enjoyment of the property by the previous person from whom he or she would acquire right. Of course, there is very much doubt so far as how exactly this period could be calculated. But once again, the concept of tacking is utilized for the benefit of people who would like to gain. One of the examples which is given in one of the Krishna Swami's law on adverse possession, which says, suppose a husband is in possession of a property by adverse possession and he continues along with his wife, he stays along with his wife and continuously keeps on enjoying the property. And suppose there is divorce between the husband and husband leaves the company of the wife and wife continues to be in possession. Wife is entitled to take advantage of the period for which her husband was in enjoyment of the property. So this adds on to acquire right by adverse possession to calculate the period of 12 years, which the word tracking or the doctrine of tacking says. Now, there are certain aspects which have been also stated on adverse possession. One is whether adverse possession could be claimed as against a co-owner. Now, this concept is once again explained by our High Court and the Apex Court in several judgments, wherein the concept of adverse possession must be clubbed with what is called as an ouster. The principles of ouster is that unless and until a co-owner is able to establish that the co-owner as against whom he is trying to claim adverse possession has been put out of the property or kept out of possession openly, continuously. Of course, other ingredients of adverse possession would be there, but the additional aspect which requires consideration is that there is an ouster. So the other co-owner as against whom the co-owner is trying to claim right must prove before a court of law that he or she is kept out of the property openly. Now, that is the concept of ouster so far as the adverse possession in between the co-owners are concerned. So, this is some of the points which I would like to speak on adverse possession. Now, there is one more aspect which usually comes across, which I have in some of the suits which I have addressed the concept of adverse possession, is when exactly this time starts, when exactly this hostility or time starts. Now, one thing which we need to remember and be reminded is the day when the right or the claim of a party becomes adverse to the title of the true owner. So adversity means there must be something which is showing hostility towards the true owner. He or she must be shown that, look, I am in possession of the property which is hostile to your right. And the actual owner, in spite of such a hostility, must keep quiet for a stretch of 12 years as contemplated under law. So the time when exactly, of course, would be once again a question of fact, which a party will have to prove before a court. Of course, the Supreme Court has made it easy for persons to file suits of declaration as a plaintiff claiming right of adverse possession. Now, whenever a concept, there one issue which came up before our High Court in a recent judgment is whether an aspect of adverse possession could be treated as a preliminary issue. Suppose, let us assume for a moment, there is a suit for possession filed by the plaintiff as against a person who is in possession of the property. Now, the defendant raises the contention in his written statement that he is in possession of the property by adverse possession. Now, whether the courts can frame issue, no doubt the burden is on the defendant to prove, or the party who is claiming right to prove that he is in adverse possession of the property. But whether this issue could be treated as a preliminary issue, so the job becomes easy. Now, the courts have said whenever there is a mixed question of law and facts involved in an issue, then don't consider it as a preliminary issue. It has to be, of course, Order 14 of Civil Procedure Code speaks about that. So even in the concept of adverse possession, the concept is that it is a mixed question of law and facts. If it's a mixed question of facts, that can never be treated as a preliminary issue. So, friends, these are some of the concepts of adverse possession, which, as I understand, I am grateful to Kanun Kudla for giving me this opportunity for speaking whatever new on the concept of adverse possession. Thanks to Mr. Sridhar and Shashiraj, whoever the admins of Kanun Kudla. Thank you, one and all.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Now, some questions are posted in chat box. I will read out that questions.
Yes.
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 Now, the first question by Kushalappa K. Whether a person as a plaintiff can file suit for adverse possession.
Yes, that is already spoken about by the Supreme Court. That is what I was telling with the Supreme Court judgment. His Lordship Justice Abdul Nazir also was a part. Now, the interpretation of the Supreme Court permits parties to file a suit for a declaration claiming a right of by adverse possession over an immovable property. It has overruled the judgment of 2014 SEC, which said that no, it could be used only as a shield, not as a sword. Now it could be used as a sword also.
Next question by Meghana Ballal. Sir, can adverse possession be claimed against co-owners?
As I said, as against co-owners also it could be claimed, but that concept, in addition to the ingredients of adverse possession which exists, there is a concept of ouster, wherein the co-owner has to prove that the co-owner who is in not in possession of the property, he has been ousted for a period of 12 years. So he practically thrown out, or there is absolute deprivation of right, and the owner must have kept quiet for the past 12 years. That's the requirement. Definitely possible.
Yes. Next question by Guru Prasad Shetty. A person whose application before land tribunal is rejected and he continued his possession without filing appeal, can he set up a claim of adverse possession?
See, the concept of tenancy rights, unless and until the party is able to establish that the tenancy right which he claimed while filing form number 7 or form number 7A has turned hostile, it might not be possible to claim adverse possession. The hostility, the tenancy must have turned in hostile enjoyment. Now that is one aspect. Just mere dismissal by a land tribunal will not be a ground to claim adverse possession.
Next question by Prema BS. Is it not amount to a decree by adverse possession when defendant takes defense of adverse possession and gets the suit filed by the plaintiff for possession, as far as defendant is concerned?
No, that will not be a decree. That will be only a finding in favor of, while the defense is raised in the written statement, it will be only a finding in favor of the plaintiff. That is what the concept of adverse possession is all about. Adverse possession is termination of a right to recover possession. So that will not give a decree in favor of, that is not a decree in favor of party or a defendant. That is only a sort of a declaration, but not a decree.
Next question by Guru Prasad.
It just prevents the party from recovering possession. Yes.
Yes. Next question by Guru Prasad. Can government claim adverse possession?
That is what I just cited one of the judgments wherein state of Haryana had claimed adverse possession as against a property of a private party. The Supreme Court came upon very seriously against the Haryana government and said, look, you are the person who is protecting the property and you are expected to protect the rights of an individual or a citizen. Now you start claiming adverse possession, then this won't end. So basically, Supreme Court in its clear-cut words has said, no, the government should not and cannot claim.
Yes. Next question by K. Sharma. Can I file a suit for adverse possession after a period of 12 years from the time of expiry of agreement for sale under which I got possession of property on part performance?
Basically, no, because when an agreement for sale is there, it is the possession what is given is permissive in nature. So a person who is in permissive possession unless and until you are able to establish that the possession turned hostile to the title of the true owner, it is not possible.
Yes. Next question, there is one clarification, Guru Prasad, that Gurudwara Sahib case was overruled by 2019 SAC. So
Yes, yes.
Yes. Next question by Banu Shankar. Sir, is there any difference between adverse possession and ouster? Please enlighten.
No difference. Ouster is an extension of the adverse possession. The ouster principle consists of the ingredients of adverse possession, plus add on to that, there is a conduct to keep somebody out of the property. So here of course, as I have said, there are two aspects which are involved in adverse possession. One is the actual possession, another is what is called as an animus or the mind, to keep somebody away. So if the co-owner, the principle of ouster is as against a co-owner, you have to have that intention to keep him away, and there must be an act of keeping him away from the property to see that his right is deprived. Of course, it is very difficult to prove, but it could be proved.
Yes. Next question by K. Sharma sir. What is that evidence required to prove adverse possession?
Yes, the concept are these ingredients which I have initially said. You must be able to prove that it is open. You must be able to prove that it is an exclusive possession. You must be able to prove that it is a hostile possession. The possession is in hostility to the actual owner's right. You must be able to prove that it is continuous and uninterrupted. There was no hiccups in between, and it is over 12 years from the date of this hostility, possession in hostility. So all these ingredients are a requirement, basic requirement for proving of adverse possession.
Yes. Next question by Kushalappa K. Type of pleading in a suit for adverse possession, and what are all the documents required for proving adverse possession?
Yes, the pleading, the necessary pleading in a suit or while you file a written statement is that there must be a specific contention in your plaint or written statement to show that you are in possession of the property and the said possession was in adversity to the actual owner's right, and the date from which day the possession has turned hostile, and the time. The main ingredient is the time from when the possession has become adverse. Now, these are the ingredients which are required in any sort of pleading. The clarity which you need to furnish so far as plea of adverse possession is concerned. Now, so far as documents which Kushalappa has said is, now one thing which everybody must remember is that mere revenue entries will not be sufficient for the purpose of proving adverse possession. Of course, there was a Supreme Court judgment in 2010 wherein an entry in the revenue record was placed by the parties to say that they were in adverse possession. But the Supreme Court said, no. Just revenue entry is not sufficient. Revenue entries with the sufficient evidence to place on record to show the hostility and the uninterrupted enjoyment. That is the ground wherein you can seek for plea of adverse possession. So documents as such we can't prescribe because there cannot be much of a document, but revenue entry definitely is not sufficient.
Next question by Guru Prasad. Sir, Monappa Bandari sir, the video on ide. So next Guru Prasad question. Can adverse possession be claimed against minor or person of unsound mind or army man?
The courts have been very reluctant to grant reliefs as against military or army or cantonments, saying that no, you cannot claim because these are properties which involve serious questions where adverse possession cannot be claimed. Now, so far as minor and lunatic are concerned, adverse possession also has been deprecated by various courts. There are Calcutta High Court bench, there is a Madras High Court and Bombay High Court judgments which say basically what happens is consent. Now, when I say consent, there must be a person whom you are trying to claim right as against a person whom you are claiming right. So that person be aware that you are in enjoyment of the property in hostility. So basically there is a indirect consent which is given by, that is the true owner, for you to be in enjoyment by adverse possession. So if the minor or a lunatic at the stage of minority and lunacy cannot give consent, question of claiming adverse possession does not so far as minor and lunatic are concerned. If you are able to prove that the lunacy, so far as the concept lunacy is concerned, he was not a lunatic or he was not a person who was unsound during the process of giving consent, during the time of knowledge of you being in adverse possession, then only you can claim adverse possession. But as against a lunatic and as against a minor, no adverse possession can be claimed.
Yes. Next question by K.S. Sharma.
Yes,
sir.
Sridhar.
Whether adverse possession is heritable and transferable?
That is the concept of tacking, which I have spoken here. Tacking is permissible, wherein you can continue the possession to your successors. The possession of your predecessor in title can accrue to the benefit of the subsequent person who is in possession of the property. Of course, so far as selling of the right is concerned, there is still serious disputed, there is conflicting judgments of Calcutta and Madras High Court. But so far as tacking is concerned, this is the concept of tacking. Inheritance, where the person, husband is in possession and subsequently wife comes into possession of the property, then that adverse possession continues. The period could be calculated from the date of enjoyment of the ever since possession or fathers to children. That is possible. That is the principle or doctrine of tacking. Yes, sir.
Yes. Next question by Kushalappa K. How the adverse possession suit has to be valued for the purpose of court fee?
Valuation is under section 24. If it's suit for a declaration, section 24 of Karnataka Court Fees and Valuation Act. Market value, half the market value, if at all it is permissible law, or agriculture, whatever. It's under section 24.
Yes. Next
Market
question
value
by,
of the property.
yes, next question by Guru Prasad. Can adverse possession be claimed by person in part performance, person in permissive possession?
No, that is what senior Mr. Sharma also had asked. No,
So
see, concept of possession under an agreement for is considered as permissive possession. So that cannot turn into adverse at any point of time unless you are able to prove that it turned adverse or it became hostile. Otherwise, not possible.
Yes. Next question by Banu Shankar. Sir, can a possession under a void document or void order ripen into adverse possession?
Yes, there are judgments to that effect which says that if at all there is a void document, then any possession which continue to be in possession on the basis of a void document, that also could be included for the purpose of calculating the period under Article 64 and 65 of Limitation Act. But once again, when exactly it turned hostile or when exactly the adversity started is one thing which you must be capable of proving. If it is such, then yes, possible. There are judgments to the effect which say that void documents to the knowledge of the party who has executed it, yes, possible.
Next, Guru Prasad has posted the judgment AR 1995 Supreme Court 1789 adverse position against co-owner. That is just he has posted that judgment. Next question by Varsha Katil.
Okay.
Can a government land be claimed by adverse possession by party who holds for more than 20 years?
No, the Article 112 says 30 years is the limitation period for government to recover possession. So 30 plus years is the requirement of law. So if you are in possession of the property for more than 30 years, yes, otherwise no.
Next question by Ananta Krishna Udupi, sir. Whether the benefit of adverse possession is available to a person who purchases the property from a person holding the property adversely by virtue of the theory of tacking.
That is what the tacking also says. But this concept is one thing which is still a debatable issue. There is a conflicting judgment of two high courts which says, one says yes possible, but another again he comes into possession subsequent, the purchaser comes into possession on a subsequent date. How can he take over that particular right? Because intention of adversity or hostility existed in the vendor, and the purchaser once again taking it off is one concept which is still not resolved by this one. But so far it is rights, possessions, continuation, everything, tacking off is permissible. But sale deed is one thing which is still a debatable issue.
Yes. Next question by Janaki Ram, sir. Can a finding on adverse possession be given without paying court fee? Otherwise, the CC of judgment can be used in other proceedings like police station.
See, finding on adverse possession is, as long as till 2009 it is only a shield. So it was only a defense and a finding given on an issue so far as defendant is concerned. Of course, now since filing of a suit is permissible at law, court fees are paid. But so far as defense is concerned, no. That is what I said, is only an extinguishment of a right to recover possession. It is not a positive act, but it is a negative act provided under the provisions of Limitation Act. It is like recovery suit, barring a limitation, 3 years limitation. The right to recover has ended. That is all. It is not that the debt has been just evaporated.
Next question by Sanjay Rao.
The issue of court fee might not help, because it's not going to be a decree.
Yes, sir. So next question by Sanjay Rao.
Yes, Sridhar.
Is it necessary to file a separate suit for perfecting title after defending his plea of adverse possession successfully in a suit filed by the actual owner?
Not necessary. Not necessary. The finding on issue regarding adverse possession is more than sufficient to protect as against not only the true owner, as against the whole world. Because it is basically nothing but a possessory right, which is culminated into ownership or crystallized into ownership right by virtue of adverse possession. So not necessary to file a suit.
No. In just a clarification. In continuation of what Mr. Udupi had said,
Yes.
whether that person can retransfer or convey the property which he has got by way of perfected title by way of adverse possession.
That is the vendor. The previous owner who has transferred the right has perfected the title.
Yes.
Then whether the subsequent purchaser requires to establish his right.
Yes, because to retransfer or reconvey.
So basically on the basis of tacking off.
Yes.
See, tacking off basically is a principle which allows you to take the benefit of the previous possessor who is in adverse title. So separate declaration might not be required, because you are getting the benefit of your vendor. Once again, proving title is not required, because you have purchased the right from what is enjoyed by your previous owner or the previous vendor. So my opinion would be not required.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Next
Sanjay.
question by Guru Prasad. A Nisantati Kavaru is given property in Ali Santan family partition with a clause that it will revert to Santati Kavaru after his death. Legal heirs continue in possession and suit for possession filed by Santati Kavaru, which was dismissed on the grounds of non-joinder of other sharers. Is subsequent suit for possession by joining all sharers barred by adverse possession?
No, question of adverse possession might not arise, because once again the pleading of ouster is required. It might be barred by res judicata, but so far as concept of adverse possession would only apply if there is ouster. See, by virtue of he or she claiming to be the Santati and Nisantati Kavaru, they are once again, by virtue of the enactment of 1956, the Hindu Succession Act, which once again gives life to these concepts of course, removes the concept of Nisantati Kavaru itself by giving right to the wife and children of the male member. They become co-owners so far as property is concerned. If you have proof that there is ouster along with the adverse possession ingredients, I think possible. But suit might not be barred by, there is no question of a suit being barred by adverse possession, because it is going to be a right to stop somebody for claiming possession. That is it.
Yes, sir. Next question by Sukraj Kotari. In a suit for adverse possession, whom to issue a notice as defendant or opponent when the plaintiff don't know the actual owner?
See, if there is no act, you don't know who your actual owner is, the concept of adverse possession does not arise at all, because adversity and hostility is as against the true owner's right, and there must be a true owner. If there is absence of true owner, the question of adverse possession does not arise. It is just possession, blanket possession, not adverse possession. Adverse possession, there must be an owner. You must show that you are in possession of the property openly, publicly, in hostility to the owner's right. Otherwise, question of adverse possession does not arise. So, without knowing anybody as owner, question of adverse possession suit, filing of adverse possession suit is not possible.
Yes. Next question by Pratvish Rao. Can adverse possession be an alternative defense?
Alternative defense for what? Any clarity there?
Like if he is present, he can clarify whether he is present in link 1. Pratvish Rao. So I think he is not present now.
See, alternatively, suppose if he is trying to say some other right with the alternative plea of adverse possession. See, claiming or defending or filing written statement is one thing, and when the matter comes up for evidence is another aspect. So the law is very much clear that once evidence commences, you have to know what your defense is. You can't take contrary pleas while you start your evidence or commence evidence. You have to be very clear on your defense so that the plaintiff can meet out the suit. So you have to be very clear on that. So alternative pleadings, there is no problem, but the alternative stand once the trials begins is impermissible under law.
Yes. Next question by Arjun Gowda. Can non-execution of sale deed and the subsequent possession of the property by the buyer, can a suit for adverse possession be filed?
Not possible, because once again you are put in possession recognizing your right. Maybe the sale deed might not have been executed, but the vendor puts you in possession either as a true owner or as a permissive occupant. Subsequently, if the sale deed is not executed, if the owner or the vendor does not interfere in a possession, that will not culminate to adverse possession. That will be possession which you are enjoying without any document. That is it. That will not be adverse possession.
Sorry, Sridhar. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes.
A small clarification. Prithvish Rao's question, which I would like to offer, is probably he meant that
Yes, sir.
when a trespasser has filed, when a suit has been filed to evict the trespasser from the property, the trespasser, who is the person, the defendant raises a plea that I am a tenant in the property by virtue of a tenancy agreement. Alternatively, he claims that
Right.
if I am not a tenant, then I am in adverse possession. Probably he meant about this.
No. Okay, that is what I was just telling previously, that he have pleadings, absolutely there is no bar, but once the trial begins, he has to be very clear on what he's going to plead. If he is going to say he's a tenant, then his mouth is shut. He cannot take up a plea that he's in adverse possession. If he gives up the plea of tenancy right, then yes, adverse possession is permissible claim, but of course subject to proving the necessary ingredients.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, next question by Shripati Prabhu. Sir, whether notice is mandatory to claim adverse possession?
Not required. Notice is not required at all, because you are either defending yourself that you are in adverse possession. Only thing is evidence is required to prove the hostility, that your possession is adverse to the owner's right of immobile property.
Yes. Next question by Maniraj. What type of ED can be produced when there is no specific documents available for a long period of possession? I think ED means
Oral evidence.
Yes.
I think evidence most probably.
Evidence.
It's, evidence.
Evidence.
It is oral evidence. Oral evidence is permissible. You can always provide people who have been living for the past more than 12 years, nearby you, along you, somewhere down the line. Not necessary that has to be documented, because adverse possession is not one thing which you can get documents, always documents. Because as Supreme Court in 2010 has said, revenue entries are not permissible. It's not sufficient, of course. Some documental evidence also is sufficient if the courts will believe the witnesses whom you are examining.
Yes. I think one more question.
Can I intervene in one point?
Yes, sir. Sharma, sir.
Sir,
Mr. Uday Mulia, good evening to you.
Namaskar.
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 Now my question is,
Good evening.
no doubt in adverse possession case, there will be
Yes, sir.
no document.
Sir.
However, a person who is in possession in adverse to the title of the owner
Yes.
might have actually caused some improvements in the property. In such a case, can't he take out a commission from the court to prove the possession by
Yes.
virtue of improvements he has effected in the property?
Yes, that is what. It would be a part of the court document, no doubt. See, improvements, of course, the judgment of our High Court once said that possession commission cannot be issued. But to prove that there are development and improvements are existing in property, that yes, possible. If at all that supporting documents to that effect, that he has put up the construction, he has made the improvements, then that would be an add-on benefit.
Thank you.
Definitely possible. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next question by Abhishek. If father or mother is in adverse possession and before the claim or defense is made, he dies, whether son or children can make such defense or claim?
Yes, that is a principle of tacking off. If their father or mother or anybody, their predecessor was in continuous possession, and that same possession is continued with the subsequent persons who are claiming right, So that link must be there. There must not be any gap. That pause in between the possession between the previous possessor and the subsequent possessor must not be there. If that proof is there, definitely possible under the principles or doctrine of tacking.
Yes, that was the last question. I think all the questions are answered. Yes. Yes, Narasimha Hegde, sir.
Narasimha,
Just from a criminal side. So I want to know what exactly hostility is.
Hostility is an attitude which you are showing adversity towards the true owner by an act. It is not as hostility as showing talwar or showing gun. It is hostility in the way of enjoyment of the property. Suppose
Okay, thank
the
you.
owners are aware that I am in enjoyment of the property, and I am saying that, look, who are you to come and talk to me? Just get out of the property. That attitude, if it is there, and the actual owner keeps quiet for 12 years without doing anything, then his right to recover the possession is lost. That is simple concept of hostility. No other.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Now I will permit any 2 questions from the participants directly. Some senior advocates and are present. It is not about question, about the program or today's webinar program.
Uday Mulya,
I request- Yes.
Namaskar.
Sir, video on ಮಾಡಿ ಸರ್.
Yes.
ಮುಖ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಉಂಟಷ್ಟೇ.
ಸರಿ.
ಅದು ನನ್ನಷ್ಟೇ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ನನ್ನಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕಿನ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್.
ಎನರ್ಜೆಟಿಕ್.
ಒಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್
ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋಣ.
ಸಣ್ಣ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್.
Yes,
Whenever at what point of time the person is needed to go to the court to seek an adverse possession, or whether he can be in possession of the property and assume for himself that he has perfected his title by adverse possession.
See, as long as the requirement of his right established, he needs clarity on his possession that he is in adverse title to the property and he has an ownership right. Continuous possession is permissible.
Yeah, so to say, when only the real owner comes and obstructs him or tries to oust him from the property, he needs to.
Not necessary. If the requirement is there, if I need some document to prove that I am in possession in adverse to the title of the true owner, that is the time he requires.
So not necessarily a declaration itself is a mandatory aspect for one to prove that he is
that is what the Supreme Court, I wouldn't say blunder created by the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court has permitted to use it as a sword also. So whenever you feel that you want some decree, you can go to the court and get
and establish your right by virtue of the declaration.
Yes.
Otherwise it is only when somebody obstructs you from enjoying the property.
No, that is what when initially told also, till 2019 it was only as a defense and there was no decree in favor of a person who was in adverse possession.
Yes,
so the doubt was whether you can mutate the RTC's revenue documents on the basis of such a finding or issue was an uncertainty then.
Yes.
So now it is possible. You can get a decree and get yourself a kata, go for a loan, happily enjoy the property.
Thank you. It was a wonderful discussion.
Thank you.
Enlightening. Seeing you after a very long time.
long time. Everybody on
yeah, Mangalore ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ.
I'm not be ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಸರ್.
ಇವತ್ತು ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಮಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Very good discussion, knowledgeable discussion. Thank you for joining the webinar.
Thank you.
ವಾಸುದೇವ್ ರಾವ್ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಮುಖ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ತಾವು.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಷ್ಟವರೆಗೆ
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚೇರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ.
Chip of the old block. Nice presentation.
Whatever.
Nice presentation.
Whatever you have taught us.
Oh, I have not at all taught this subject. I am so happy to listen to it.
So transfer of property of park sir adu.
Oh, nice. I'm so happy. You resolved
you,
a
thank
dispute
you.
between me and Guru Prasad once for all. Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
TN ಪೂಜಾರಿ ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಹಿರಿಯ ವಕೀಲರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯವನ್ನು TN ಪೂಜಾರಿ ಸರ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಮೋನಪ್ಪ ಭಂಡಾರಿ ಸರ್.
ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಚ್ಚ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಮೋನಪ್ಪ ಭಂಡಾರಿ ಸರ್. ಮೋನಪ್ಪ ಭಂಡಾರಿ ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ.
ಉದಯ ಮುಳಿಯರ ಮಗ. ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್.
MC ಭಾಸ್ಕರ್ ಸರ್.
ಬರೀ ಬಿಸ್ಕಿಟ್ ಮಾತ್ರ.
ಕುಟುಂಬ ಸಭೆ ನಿಮ್ದು ಆಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಇದೆ.
ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ.
ಆಡಿಯೋ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಕೊಡದಿದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡಬಹುದು.
ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಅಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಅಂತಿಮ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಮಾತನಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಈಗ ಪ್ರೇಮಾನಂದ್ ಅಂಚನ್ ಇವರಿಂದ ವಂದನಾರ್ಥ.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡು ಲಾ ಆನ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಸ್ಪೇಷನ್ ಇದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಉಪಯುಕ್ತವಾದ ಕಾನೂನಾತ್ಮಕದ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯ ವಕೀಲರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ಉದಯ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಮುಡಿಯ ಇವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾನೂನು ಕುಟ್ಲ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಹಾಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿರಿಯ ಕಿರಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಕೀಲ ಮಿತ್ರರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಲ್ಗೊಂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ನ್ಯಾಯಾಧೀಶರುಗಳಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಹಿರಿಯ ಕಿರಿಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಕೀಲ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೂ ಮಂಗಳೂರು ವಕೀಲರ ಸಂಘ ಹಾಗೂ ಕಾನೂನು ಕುಟ್ಲ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ತಂಡದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಪ್ರೇಮಾನಂದ್ ಅಂಚನ್, ನಿಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಬಹುಶಃ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಇವತ್ತು ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಇದು 17ನೇ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಮಗೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಕೂಡ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಮುಂದುವರಿದ ಕಾರಣ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಡೈಲಿ ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ.